I remember the challenges of adapting to life with a limb difference, the relentless pursuit of normalcy. It was a time when every waking moment seemed to revolve around overcoming physical and emotional hurdles. The streets were filled with people, each one carrying their own unique stories of resilience and strength. Every step, every adjustment, every therapy session felt like a test of my resolve. The anxiety of facing daily tasks was almost unbearable, and the sight of progress, no matter how small, could either make or break my day. The pressure to adapt was immense, and it felt like my entire future hinged on my ability to navigate this new reality. I'd spend hours practicing, striving for independence, terrified of setbacks. The nights were long and filled with determination, my desk lamp the only source of light in the quiet darkness. Tools and devices were scattered everywhere, a testament to my relentless pursuit of a fulfilling life. Sleep was sacrificed, social events were missed, and determination became my constant companion. While my friends enjoyed their time together, I was often alone, focused on my rehabilitation. The fear of falling behind kept me isolated, and the exhaustion from sleepless nights took its toll on my health and well-being. I was chasing an image, a capable person, a strong individual, a resilient friend. The milestones in my therapy were supposed to be a reflection of my success, but instead, they became a source of isolation. I was so focused on maintaining this image that I lost sight of who I really was and what truly mattered to me. But in the process, I was losing myself. The reflection in the mirror showed a person who was tired, stressed, and unhappy. I began to question whether this pursuit of normalcy was worth the cost of my own identity and happiness. I wasn't alone in this journey. The support group was always filled with individuals, each one sharing their stories, driven by the same desire for acceptance and understanding. The therapy sessions were a mix of determination and camaraderie, all striving for the same goal of living a fulfilling life. Everywhere I looked, peers were facing the same challenges, driven by the desire for independence and the need for support. Conversations often revolved around progress and setbacks, and the determination was palpable. We were all in this together, yet each of us felt alone in our struggle. We were taught that resilience was the key to success, the only path to happiness and fulfillment. The messages were clear: persevere, adapt, and you will be rewarded. But the reality was far different from the promise. The constant pressure to be resilient was overwhelming and left little room for vulnerability or growth. But the harder we pushed, the more elusive it became. It was like running on a treadmill, always moving but never getting anywhere. The exhaustion was evident on our faces, and the joy of living was replaced by a relentless drive to adapt. The weight of our own expectations threatened to crush us. The pile of therapy equipment and papers seemed to grow taller every day, and the pressure to keep up was suffocating. The fear of failure loomed large, and the burden of our own high standards became too much to bear. It took a breakdown, a moment of complete overwhelm for me to realize the futility of my pursuit. The tears flowed freely as I sat in therapy, the weight of my own expectations finally breaking me. It was a moment of clarity, a realization that this path was not sustainable. Resilience, I began to understand, was not a destination, but a journey. It was like a mirage in the desert, always just out of reach. The reflection in the window was blurry, a reminder that the pursuit of resilience was distorting my view of reality. It was a mirage, shimmering in the distance, promising fulfillment, but delivering only exhaustion and disappointment. The slow progress on the therapy report was a stark reminder that resilience was an ongoing process, and the pursuit of it was leaving me empty and unfulfilled. It was time to let go. I closed the therapy journal and smiled, feeling a sense of relief and freedom. It was a moment of liberation, a decision to prioritize my well-being over the relentless pursuit of resilience. Standing on the hilltop with my arms outstretched, I embraced the freedom to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to find happiness in the journey rather than the destination. Perfection, simply put, is an illusion. It's a fabricated ideal that exists only in our minds, a mirage that we chase but can never truly grasp. This concept of perfection is a product of societal pressures and unrealistic expectations, constantly fed to us through various media. It's a moving target, constantly shifting with trends and opinions, making it impossible to pin down. What is considered perfect today might be deemed flawed tomorrow. Think about it. The standards of beauty, success, and happiness are always evolving. Can you name a single thing in nature that is truly perfect? Nature, in all its glory, thrives on diversity and imperfection. A flower might have a slightly misshapen petal, yet it still blooms beautifully. A tree might have branches that twist in unexpected ways, yet it stands tall and strong. Yet we don't judge them for their imperfections. Instead, we admire their resilience and unique beauty. We find beauty in their uniqueness, their individuality. Each flower, each tree tells its own story. Why then do we hold ourselves to such impossible standards? Why do we scrutinize every flaw and magnify every imperfection? Why do we strive for a level of flawlessness that exists only in airbrushed photographs and carefully curated social media feeds? These images are not real. They are constructed to present an ideal that is unattainable. The answer, in part, lies in the messages we've internalized, the constant bombardment of what we should look like, how we should act, and what we should achieve. These are the stories we've been told about what it means to be worthy, valuable, and loved. But true worth and value come from embracing our authentic selves, imperfections and all. It's in our quirks, our flaws, and our unique traits that our true beauty lies. When we accept and love ourselves as we are, we find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. So let's rewrite the narrative. Let's celebrate our imperfections and recognize that they make us who we are. Perfection doesn't exist, but authenticity does. And in that authenticity, we find a beauty that is far more profound and lasting than any fleeting ideal of perfection. Embrace your imperfections, for they are the marks of a life fully lived, a testament to your journey and growth. Remember, you are enough just as you are, perfectly imperfect and wonderfully unique. The concept of perfection varies across cultures and societies. What one culture deems perfect, another might see as flawed or incomplete. This diversity in perception is a testament to the rich tapestry of human experience and thought. In some cultures, perfection is associated with order, precision, and adherence to tradition. For instance, the meticulous craftsmanship seen in traditional ceremonies and cultural events often reflects a deep respect for heritage and an unwavering commitment to maintaining established standards. In others, it might be linked to spiritual enlightenment, artistic mastery, or social harmony. The act of meditation, the creation of art, and the fostering of community bonds are seen as pathways to achieving a state of perfection that transcends the material world. These diverse interpretations highlight the subjective nature of perfection, its dependence on cultural norms and values. Each culture brings its own unique perspective, enriching our global understanding of what it means to be perfect. For example, in Japan, the concept of wabi-sabi celebrates the beauty of imperfection and impermanence. This philosophy teaches that true beauty lies in the transient and the incomplete, encouraging a deep appreciation for the natural cycle of growth and decay. Cracked pottery and weathered wood are seen as reminders of the passage of time and the beauty of imperfection. These objects tell stories of resilience and history, embodying a form of perfection that embraces flaws and celebrates the journey rather than the destination. In contrast, Western cultures often emphasize flawlessness and youthfulness, as seen in the airbrushed images that dominate advertising and media. The pursuit of an idealized, often unattainable standard of beauty can create a narrow definition of perfection that excludes the natural diversity of human appearance. This cultural lens shapes our understanding of perfection from a young age. Children and young people are particularly impressionable, absorbing these ideals through media and societal expectations, which can influence their self-esteem and aspirations. We learn what to value, what to strive for, and what to hide. These lessons are reinforced through education, social interactions, and the media we consume, shaping our perceptions of ourselves and others. Understanding these influences can help us challenge unrealistic expectations and embrace a more compassionate and accepting view of ourselves and others. By recognizing the cultural roots of our ideals, we can foster a more inclusive and empathetic society that values diversity and authenticity over conformity and superficial perfection. The pursuit of perfection comes at a steep price. It can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, and depression. It can fuel self-doubt, erode self-esteem, and create a constant sense of inadequacy. When we tie our worth to achieving an unattainable ideal, we set ourselves up for a lifetime of disappointment and self-criticism. Perfectionism can also lead to procrastination and fear of failure. When the stakes feel impossibly high, it's easier to avoid taking risks or putting ourselves out there. We become paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes, of not measuring up, of being judged as inadequate. This fear can prevent us from pursuing our passions, developing our talents, and living a full and meaningful life. It keeps us small and safe, trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and inaction. Imagine a young artist brimming with talent but paralyzed by the fear of creating something imperfect. She spends hours sketching and erasing, never quite satisfied with the results. Every brushstroke feels like a test, every imperfection a glaring flaw. Or consider a student, bright and capable, who avoids challenging courses or applying to top-tier colleges. The fear of not getting straight A's, of not living up to his own impossibly high standards, keeps him from reaching his full potential. These are just two examples of how perfectionism can manifest in our lives, robbing us of joy, creativity, and fulfillment. It's a trap that can ensnare us at any age, in any area of life, keeping us from experiencing the freedom and joy that come from embracing our imperfections. While the trap of perfectionism can feel inescapable, there are ways to break free and embrace our imperfections. One powerful example comes from the Amputee Coalition. This national nonprofit organization is dedicated to supporting, educating, and advocating for people impacted by limb loss and limb difference. Their vision is a world where the community thrives with equity and inclusion. The Amputee Coalition's mission is to foster a culture of diversity, inclusion, and equity in all aspects of their work. They embody the tenet, "Nothing about us without us," ensuring that those they serve are at the center of their efforts. This commitment to diversity and inclusion provides a foundation for all their values. Imagine a world where we all embrace our imperfections, just as the Amputee Coalition encourages its community to do. By supporting one another and fostering a culture of acceptance, we can break free from the chains of perfectionism and find joy in our unique journeys. If you or someone you know is impacted by limb loss or limb difference, consider reaching out to the Amputee Coalition. Their office hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, Friday, and they can be contacted toll-free at 888-267-5669. Together, we can support each other in embracing our imperfections and living fulfilling lives. Remember, perfection doesn't exist, but the beauty of our imperfections is what makes us truly unique. The Amputee Coalition stands as a beacon of hope and support. Contact Amputee Coalition. The Amputee Coalition is a national 501c3 nonprofit organization. ID employer identification. Number 52-170-1146601 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW, Suite 420, South Building, Washington, D.C. 20004. Office hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, Friday. Toll-free 888-267-5669. Amputee Coalition. Vision, mission, and values. Vision, a world where our community thrives with equity and inclusion. Mission, to support, educate, and advocate for people impacted by limb loss and limb difference, fostering a culture of diversity, inclusion, and equity in all aspects of our work. Values integral to our mission practice and daily work is the tenet, "Nothing about us without us," providing a foundational commitment of diversity, equity, and inclusion for all other values. By ACA Miss Moshe, reminding us all that we are enough just as we are. Created by Amputee Coalition advocate, Miss Julia Hadassah Moshe.